Hello, Tom. You're on the air. Welcome.
How are you guys doing today? Very good show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for the call.
Thank you. I agree with all the five non-negotiables. I guess the one question that I would have is, you just take, for example, you got two candidates that believe in maybe a couple of the non-negotiables.
Got it.
And try to make a decision which is the best candidate to vote for.
In answer to this question, I like to use the principle that's laid out by Pope John Paul II in his just absolute phenomenal encyclical. If any of the listeners haven't read it, you need to read Evangelium Vitae. It's absolutely brilliant. In paragraph 73, he's talking about voting for elected officials. But remember, we're in a representative democracy. And so he's talking about elected officials casting their votes in the House of Congress or so forth. But the same principle applies to us because we're voting for the elected officials who will cast their votes. But in paragraph 73, John Paul II says, an elected official whose absolute personal opposition to, and he's using the example here of abortion, was well known, could licitly support proposals aimed at limiting the harm done by such a law and at lessening its negative consequences at the level of general opinion and public morality. So notice the principle here. You're the elected official. His pro-life stand is known, and John Paul makes it very plain here. He needs to let it be known. He can vote in order to lessen the harm done, and that's what we need to do in examining these five non-negotiables. If you notice, we put them in a list, and it's somewhat in accordance with the gravity of the sin. We started with abortion, euthanasia, embryonic stem cell research, human cloning, and homosexual marriage. Now, it's not that they're actually, some of those are pretty much equivalent, but we did kind of try to put them in an order somewhat in accordance with the gravity of the sin. So what we can do, Tom, is take a look at and make a prudential judgment. Which one of the non-negotiables? For example, if you have a politician who is in favor or who is opposed to abortion and euthanasia, but is in favor of the next three, versus someone who is in favor of, let's say, embryonic stem cell research, human cloning, and homosexual marriage, those would not be as grave as abortion and euthanasia. Right. So we could make a prudential judgment, even though one of them is actually in favor of three, and the other is only in favor of two. We look at the gravity of each one. And this is where we need to make prudential judgments. The church isn't going to lay everything out for us. This is something we take the principles the church gives us, like here in Evangelium Vitae 73, and we apply it as best we can in the given situation.
If you get five non-negotiables with the voter's guide, you have a mini encyclopedia in your back pocket